can make a comparison with here, me, and after the concert I'm all sweaty.
My whole experience is very tiring, a lot of pressure, very demanding, but the reward that you get is even bigger.
What did you eat before the concert?
Banana.
I did the soup. You had the
And I had a soup. It's gonna be a good night.
Wow. Wow. But I will take this.
Hello.
Yes.
Done.
Yes.
I'm sweating.
Sweat check, yes, look at me. I'm now like after workout for 2 hours. You know, so always conductor is good for health.
The whole competition has been great in many, many ways, but it has also been very exhausting. Every day that passes, I feel like it's getting harder and harder to push forward.
For us to be able to develop ourselves, to grow as musicians, as humans, as conductors. We're working with the highest possible league of classical orchestras. This is something that is most valuable and so beautiful.
Done.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You okay? You did really well because I saw it.
I think what happens in other competition is you get a lot of rounds and then one person is chosen and that person gets a million concerts all over the world and that's it.
This award ceremony and this night is the culmination of a 2 years process.
So the competition started last year and there were a lot of applicants. Then I was lucky enough to be invited and be between the 24 people that were invited to the semifinals. And then after this 24, the second round was 12 people, and then they decided on 6 designated winners.
We wanted to give our 6 conductors whom we selected the opportunity not only to compete, but also to develop themselves and to give them opportunities for that.
Well, it's definitely a huge learning experience as well for us.
ICCR strongly believes that a modern music competition should not only be about competing, but also about showcasing the exceptional talent of these 6 unique individuals.
Everyone does everything in the finals, so it's not a nice 6 designated winners so that everyone feels good. No, it's actually true. It's 6 people that are chosen and that conduct the whole all of the concerts, do all of the rehearsals.
It is interesting to see people's strengths come to the fore in the different rounds.
And that has happened with academies and with these 5 final rounds that happened last 12 days, in which they could really present themselves in different kinds of repertoire with different kinds of orchestras, and in that way really grow and show their best qualities.
The whole year from 2024, June 2024, until now that we're 2025 in the finals, we were able to experience so much and so many amazing opportunities.
The two academies bonded us. It gives us the possibility to not think of each other as contestants, but as colleagues, as friends.
It is very rare for conductors to be together, so that is really precious. We were able to share, to do crazy experiences. We jumped out of a tower here in Rotterdam.
I wasn't aware that we're gonna do this.
It's tall, it's big. Yeah, we'll see. I've never done something like that.
I have once jumped off a plane. I had a parachute, so that's why I'm here.
I'm very curious to see how I will react in the situation.
I think it's fun. I think it will be very exciting.
Great, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to watching everyone else do it.
Those are the memories that I think will stay with us for a very long time.
So one side, we have to trust that people preparing this, they really did a good job. And second time, we need to trust the rope, that it's actually gonna hang us.
Oh God, it's tight on my gut.
As a conductor, we are in charge of everything and responsible for everything, but we don't produce any sound. And so we are in the hands of the musicians in that sense. And here, it all depends on the rope.
It's very, very easy. Just a small little steps. You're going to repeat a few hundred times and then you're on the ground. You guys will go down in
One
pairs.
side, we need to trust the orchestra, they're gonna be prepared. And also trust that we're gonna find it together, common language, and we can manage to work together and create something beautiful.
Just hold the rope, you will not go down.
Okay.
So don't let go of the rope.
Don't let go.
Never let go of the rope.
I guess stepping off for the first time is the scariest bit of going down the building, because you have to sort of fall back and it feels like you don't have any support.
Is he gone? See, we lose him? He's gone.
It's stepping in front of an unknown group of musicians. It's also stepping into a performance.
There's many hours of preparation, and you then go through the rehearsal process.
Why don't I have gloves?
Where are your gloves?
You have all the scores even in mind and you marked everything or something. It's always an adventure going there on the podium.
I'm thinking about it.
And you sort of never know what's gonna happen.
One is waited in the backstage and everything is all right. One is thinking, but then always right before you go, there is that moment that you just need to break through it.
You're gonna make your steps and you just go. You don't go back, you just continue. And this is I think the most stressful moment of the whole concert.
I'm not ready.
Yeah!
You feel that?
Yes.
That's awesome.
At the beginning it was kind of shocking, because then you need to let yourself go.
It was a very mixed experience, because firstly you feel kind of scared, like there is something that you feel like really 2 seconds before going on stage, that you cannot stop it. But then when you let go, I also think it's really much about letting go. And then when you let go, you can start enjoying it.
But then, I mean, the view was incredibly beautiful.
When you go in on the podium for the first time with the new orchestra, it's facing the danger somehow. No, that's not the right word. It's facing the
First reaction,
the experience of your inner self.
never again.
So you have to open yourself to many possibilities.
Good challenge.
But I hope that in this case the line doesn't break and you fall to your death. You don't want that in a performance either.
Do you know how much one rope can hold?
6 elephants.
Actually, like conducting, when you let go a little bit, it's just everything slides and everything is okay.
It was a very intense experience. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed moments from it. I think for someone who has fear of heights is a big step.
So I think that's very important. And I really enjoy the cooking experience because I didn't do the, how do you say that? Because I didn't do the upsizing, but we cooked together.
The Nutella, that's one, and the egg is two. Two cheddar, whip, top. I'm sorry.
But every procedure I whip.
When you're whipping,
And
it's beautiful.
especially after that cooking session, I can feel we are much tighter. We are such a group that we have to do the dessert and do the appetizer and do the main dish. We have to work together. No, I'm not speaking anything. Don't talk to me.
What I'm doing is making beef.
I have a strong feeling after that we are much more bonded. This is very important. This is very important. You know, Uber Eats, they have good recommendations.
You missed your media training yesterday.
At the end of the day, we will all be conducting and we will all be on the same ship. We will be working in the same environment. So it's great to have an opportunity like this where you develop this friendship with other conductors, and hopefully this lasts forever.
Of course, orchestra of the 18th century, everybody knows it. I grew up listening to their music. Do I look nervous? Yes, I probably do. It's like a dream come true. And for me, I'm very, very nervous because you know how many recordings they've produced, and now you are going to conduct them. Okay. Yes. Enjoy. So Haydn, because it's short, let's run through the piece. And for Mozart and Egmont, I think I've only marked very small amount of places, around 34 places. I'm just kidding. 3 to 4, so it will be a very chill time, so let's just have fun. Let's run through the Haydn. Thank you.
What's very special, particularly about not only the first round but the first 2 rounds, was that we were working with specialized ensembles. So we come as the outsiders to do with the orchestras what they are specialized on, and that's of course a huge challenge for us.
They will have all the knowledge that you don't have, especially its historical informed music.
I was a recorder player when I was younger, and this is the orchestra from Franz Brucher. So it was always in my radar, and I always had them there in my thoughts.
Let's go to Mozart, please. It demands a different kind of preparation when you know that the group in front of you eat for breakfast, lunch and dinner the music that you're gonna perform with them. The very last trill in the forte, 101. Can we the very last time do it? Start slow. Bit more vocal.
I was tiny bit, afraid, because I know that they're incredibly fantastic ensemble and they can play everything. The moment I just entered the room, they were so kind and so open and so smiling.
Let's start with Haydn, please.
And so, you felt like you know them. I felt like I know them since years. And they were simply, hey, let's do music. And I think it was the biggest shock, this immediate feeling of, great, let's share.
It was like if a wind just really hit you in the face of energy. It was amazing. It was so easy to just make music with them, because they're all musicians that are very curious. You can see the faces of all of them really wanting to see what you have to tell them, and it was just a pleasure.
If we could show a bit, the re bemol is also beautiful, and we need to show it, the D flat. But if we could, still in this, I'm sure everyone will be even more attentive if we do it like this. 1 E 1.
It was an amazing experience to see how they played so differently for the 6 different conductors and how they got on board with so many different ideas.
I really loved what we got yesterday and the reason for this piano being the F natural, yeah? Ya da 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 da. Yeah. I know it's too many different conductors and different ideas, but that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, exactly. 75, can we go from 75?
You could just almost just feel it and think it, and they would do it. So it's really an orchestra that offers a lot, and that's always a gift to a conductor.
I was sure that they're gonna be incredible, and I was confirmed. So it was very nice and friendly and family atmosphere from the very beginning, especially in the beginning of the competition. It was, we were all scared. We all wanted to show each other the best possible sides. So having an orchestra that is completely almost playing by heart, looking at every gesture, wanting to do everything that you want, just to try out, just to think, you could feel that they're literally reading your minds, that they are with you and they're going with you for this musical journey.
I remember just having my socks blown off from the first notes that they played. It was truly exceptional. I had an understanding of the orchestra's legacy. I've heard them play quite a few times before through my late teacher, Kenneth Montgomery, who worked with them extensively. So I knew a little bit about the orchestra's personality and their musical pursuits. Nothing short of mind-melting.
We have built up a very specific way of playing our repertoire through the years. We spend a lot of time with articulation, phrasing, and trying to bring the music to life as it was performed in the time of the composer.
You can hear a bit closer to whatever the composers back then, the kind of sound they had to work with.
Now, when a conducting candidate comes before our orchestra, we're very interested to see how they can take our specific sound and make music with it, do something special with it.
Can I just ask you to have an uglier sound in the B natural? Every time the B natural appears. It has been a pleasure making music with you. It's a joy. See you at the concert.
I think out of all the concerts, the one where I felt there were more sort of special, spontaneous moments was with Orchestra of the 18th Century. There were things that happened in concert that I didn't really predict, that I didn't prepare for, and that I just thought or felt in the moment. And it just happened. They were that active and reactive. The ending of the Aiden, for example, I enjoyed so much.
I don't think I've experienced a similar reaction where you feel that the musicians are almost reading your mind and reacting even before you show anything, even if you never talked about it in the rehearsal.
You know that the whole ensemble is playing with all their life.
I'm from Poland, so there all of my musical journey started. As everything, most of stuff in the life by coincidence.
Sport, kids, sport is important.
No one in my family is a musician. My teacher in kindergarten of the music class, she spotted that, I can sing in tune or, clap the rhythm correctly. And she talked to my parents that maybe they should consider sending me to a music school. And I remember after the first 6 years, my mom talked to me, hey, we don't want to push you to practice, because of course I didn't want to practice. I wanted to play with my friends outside, classically. So I need to kind of decide if I would like to actually do it. And actually, I think seeing myself as a musician. And I very clearly remember this discussion, because it was a moment that I thought, okay, the fun bit, it's done. When I came to Switzerland, I immediately got to know that there is a professor called Johannes Schlefli. Everyone was talking enormously amazing stuff about him. So my head was like, okay, so I need to get in to this class. And the beginnings were tough with him. He could actually tell you the same, probably. I was surprised how much, he was disagreeing with me, because I thought, hey, if I manage to get to your class, that means I'm something. And of course that means that, but the basic idea was I was not listening. I was not listening to, I was so focused on my plan and so focused on, on one track, I go there. As a conductor, you want to talk, obviously, because you have all of your ideas in your head and you want to put it into people and into musicians. But he actually opened my eyes and my ears to listen. I would love to continue growing as a musician. I would love to continue growing as a conductor, as a human being, simply as a person. Because if we experience many things in our lives, then we can say them through many possibilities in music.
Buon appetito!
Oh, hi.
What is the difference between contemporary or classical? Let me give you an example from painting. If we have an apple portrait of 19th century, then probably you will have a portrait with great color, great shape, great lighting of that apple. But if you are an artist born after Second World War, you will try to bring out the bitterness, the sourness of the painting instead.
Going from the 18th century to Klangforum was a shift of almost 180 degrees, also in terms of what they need from us, technique-wise also, and what kind of input they're expecting from us.
And also in that round, we have the commission piece by Mathilde Vantenach. She made a composition about 6 conductors with different, portraits of us, different motif, 6 motifs showing different characters.
I was a little bit inspired by my first impression of you guys when we had lunch together, so I took that as inspiration, but it's, of course, I don't know you in depth, so don't take it too literal.
Sam, it says cheeky.
Yeah.
No, but it doesn't say that in your picture.
Two bars only.
What I wanted to do mostly is to make a piece that is fun to play.
Da, 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 da. Well, a bit more accurate than I sung.
Yeah.
But
I think there are some challenges in it, but it's, I think I want it to feel kind of natural and playful and fun. I had the idea of bringing a dice, so because there are 6 themes, and then you can roll the dice and that will decide which of the themes starts.
That's cool.
They will do like the...
Can we do that?
If Jacob says
I love it.
Can we do that on stage?
Please.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
Nice one.
For me, at Groovy, I like do-do-dee-da, do-do-dee-da, da-da-da, a bit more big band in the sound, ba-ba, long accents. With no bow on it, but just da-da-da, we were getting a little bit flat. I like the intention though. Tell me if this is awful, but a bit of slide vibrato? Yeah.
Working with Klangforum was really a treat. They are superhuman, really.
As we have little time, let's go from 7, rehearse those details, and then do the miniatures, okay?
It's a very focused group, looking very pragmatic, objective, and just extremely professional.
What's special about working with Klangforum is that you have a group of people who've been playing together for 30 years. So you have this immense amount of experience. You have people who've been sitting next to each other for a long time.
So in the piece of Matilde, they were so open to play really 6 times the same piece, completely different. As I talked to them, they said also each of us did completely different Matilde's piece. Which is great because it was such a freedom for us, and they remembered all of it, they were able to do all of it, and they had no problems with it.
What we look for in a young conductor is someone who understands really how to play chamber music, because conducting Klangforum is a lot like playing chamber music. When we see a conductor who listens and responds and is flexible.
I was actually quite nervous before step on the podium, but after the first rehearsal, all my stress was relieved because they just did everything. It's, it's like a paradise for a conductor. Alto sax, we start the crescendo later, before 37, because we are covering the melody here, and oboe here, mezzo forte, almost. Do, di, di, but yeah, we need to hear. So first is clarinet, and then oboe, and then flute. Yeah.
I did until the end, but
okay. And they were fine with no conducting?
Completely fine. The only thing that look at the Stockhausen piece. It's a piece that there are some options of doing. I don't know, in 3 or in 5 or in 7 or whatever. And we discussed with some, hey, let's find one idea so the musician don't need to think of that. So I'm very happy that with some of the colleagues we were able to also talk. Hey, I think I don't do such a rallentando here because this and this. Ah, okay, good, interesting. And on the other hand, some people, but when I do this rallentando, I think I can achieve this and this. And I go, okay, interesting.
There is something wrong here, I think, in this part here, because he entered one bar too early.
Okay.
So just 200. I just told him, so he's fine. I think he wrote different instruments supposed to come different.
Okay.
So therefore,
still, you're staying true to your ideas and true to your thinking. But it's always good to compare it. It's always good to talk about this. Otherwise, you're gonna think that only your ideas are good. No, it's not. All ideas are good if they're able to be performed in the way that you want.
Sam? Okay.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
They're cool.
All right.
All right, Stockhausen, let's go. Maybe I was naive going into this round thinking, oh shit, how are we going to get through the Stockhausen from start to finish? But we played it through and they played it through almost perfectly, and I was just like, oh my God. And of course, this is their specialty, this is their bread and butter.
It's a specific balance you have to find with a group like this to give them, on one side, to give them the space to play together, because they are an amazing group without the conductor. They need very little from us. But then on the other hand, to give them just enough to sort of reignite the fire that is there, but they need from a conductor, the little push that makes them spin.
I really enjoyed in the Stockhausen when we sort of tried to conjure up some cosmic energy. We were trying to introduce some elements of that space and that sort of frozen idea into our performance.
Great. Yeah, with the clarinet and cello interaction, if we can just imagine being inside each other's sounds, it's written so disjointed, but we just have to absorb into one cosmic orb.
My eyes have been opened in terms of what's possible from ensemble musicians, and it drives me to be better and maybe even more demanding in terms of what I'm looking for in an ensemble. For me, it's really important to bring myself to the podium, and I will be unapologetic about that. I'm working and collaborating with orchestras because of who I am as a person, and that's really important part of my artistic pursuit. There's not many places in the world where you have a concert hall and an opera house right on the harbour in a location as beautiful as this. Australia. Here we are behind my old high school, Newtown High School of the Performing Arts, which is where I was able to conduct an orchestra for the first time. I was always interested in conducting, but I was a saxophone player and I didn't really know what the way into an orchestra was. What I did know is that I love the sound of an orchestra from my dad playing William Tell Overture at full blast in the car on our road trips. And weirdly enough, the school orchestra at the time was rehearsing William Tell Overture. My music teacher was generous enough to invite me along to watch the orchestra rehearse. I came with a score. I had highlighted random bits. I didn't really know what I was doing, but he could tell that I was interested. He actually invited me to conduct the school orchestra at our school concert series. And even luckier, this performance was invited at the Sydney Opera House. So when I was 15, I got to conduct Rossini's William Tell Overture with my school orchestra on the concert hall stage of the Sydney Opera House. And if that's not a gateway drug to conducting, then I don't know what is. Australia's geographical isolation is a curse. It's also a blessing in that we have a really insular and well-connected artistic community. Since Australia was colonised, we've had so many waves of immigrants that have had a profound impact on the landscape of Australia. It's so important for me to uphold my Australian heritage and bring the enthusiasm I get from Australian culture and the Australian scene to Europe. That's a good one, that's deep. Yeah.
This particular stage in the competition, we were allowed to choose our own program, which is a great fun because you need to go through all of the scores, all of the ideas that you have, and fit it for the chamber orchestra and see if it's actually fitting for the whole proms concert.
I was really happy with the repertoire choices that I made, and I think they were unique. And Sinfonia had an enormous job of playing so many different pieces, 18 pieces or something. Yeah, they had to be a chameleon, shape-shifting through all these different styles, which is sort of what we have had to be doing this whole competition, which is a metaphor, maybe.
I decided to go for pieces that are very close to my heart, sort of give it an American kind of cinema-like theme to it without it being cinema music.
The thing of having an open-air concert is a must. It's a must because then it was beautiful also to see you saw children that just were dancing. You saw some families that they were shopping somewhere, but then, oh, there is some music. Let's go and let's listen to it. So it really opens up our classical music to the whole community, and it brings it together for all of us to share as human beings.
I think the challenges were the conditions, the fact that it's an outdoors concert, you have to deal with the weather, you have to deal with turning of pages because of the winds, different acoustics.
We had sun all the days before, but then on the day of the concert at 4, it was like planned.
When I rushed to the stage, suddenly the sky changed, you know, heavy rain, cat and dog. And you just couldn't expect that. We have to delay for the concert for a while, I think for 7 minutes, and I go on. I remember, you know, with the heavy rain, you know, hitting the ceiling and conducting this kind of calming music, meditative music, it's also like in a movie, you know.
Often outdoor concerts feel like you're playing in a paddock and you're sort of far away from everyone, but we were really brought together and we had a really enthusiastic audience there and a cameo from some church bells, which I'm sure Luis will tell you about.
We had to stop like for 8 minutes. But it just, everything added to the fun. Everything added to this element of surprise, of spontaneity, of music that we always need to keep, even when we are inside a concert hall. Just, okay, we are here for the music, it doesn't matter what happens.
I'm sure I will do more outside concerts in the future, and I will learn to make peace with Mother Nature and the forces that be.
I think that the third round, the opener concert, was good to be in the middle of the 5 rounds, because that was the round that was the round to enjoy, so to say, because we chose a repertoire, which means we chose music that we love, and because also each one was performing different pieces, then there was of course no direct comparison. Each one was doing our own thing. A bit calmer and a bit more like a concert that we were giving all together, and a bit less like a competition. For some people, has come a bit as a surprise that I'm from Mexico, that I'm Latin American, because normally what people might expect from someone from Latin America is a very explosive and loud personality. And I think I would describe myself more as the calm person that prefers to observe and feel the room. It took me some time to accept, first of all, the way I am, and then to also realize that the more true to ourselves that we are, the stronger impact it has than to the outside. in my opinion, one of the most important things and most valuable things is when you show the most human thing, which is vulnerability. To feel it in the music, you first have to feel it yourself. And that's a very scary thought, to be vulnerable in such a position where you actually also have to lead in a way and take decisions and take those people with you. For me, it also has some sort of spiritual aspect to it, because if you really think about it, nowadays there are not many situations, at least in Western culture, many situations where so many people gather in one place. The concert halls are sort of a sacred space where people, in a way, gather and just stay in silence, sitting next to completely unknown people and just experience energy or whatever is happening in front of them. Very important for me is to keep being curious about things and to keep asking questions. We live in a society where we need answers, we need order to work, but I think especially if you work in a creative environment, the answers are not really that important, and much more important is to keep coming up with questions.
The round that I'm most worried about is the fourth round, the opera round. First, you are playing with the great Rotterdam Philharmonic, and it's your first encounter. You have to know what you're doing. And also, opera for me is, I'm just starting to get into this opera world.
Hello everyone, good morning. A lot of people today. Now I'm nervous.
You step onto the podium and you realize, oh my God, you have 120 people in front of you. And I was truly nervous. I still remember my mouth was stumbled during that rehearsal. Only for 20 minutes though.
Good morning everyone. Good morning to the choir. Very nice to see you again. This round's main character will be Giacomo Puccini. It's a composer known for incredible tragedies, but most of all, human emotion.
Puccini being the king of Verismo opera, all about realness. So much so that in the premiere of Tosca, he introduced a real gunshot for one of the effects during the opera.
Thank you so much. Tempo is okay? Yes? Yeah, very good. And we have we need to imagine like we are singing there is a word, there is a syllable in each of these ones. So even though it's legato, it will give a little caress to a baby. It's really to take care.
I think the new challenge of doing opera repertoire and of the opera round is that we have the elements of the singers and also a repertoire that is not typical of this orchestra.
The role of the conductor is slightly different because you have the soloists on one side. Sometimes in a theater they are above the orchestra. In this concert they were behind us. And then we have the orchestra and we are sort of connecting each other.
We are a little bit late and we are a little bit ahead. And I'm in the middle. So let's find each other, yeah?
It's less about us doing an idea, and it's more about reacting to whatever that singer or that soloist needs in that particular moment. It's a different type of conducting, I believe. It's a different role.
Just stop. Can
can we have this as an accent, like imagine a cat falling on the organ player and being afraid, pom, this kind of fortepiano, sforzato piano.
Something might change in the split of a second. The singer might forget something, or they decide, no, I will go quicker, I go slower. You need to kind of anticipate, but at the same time, you cannot obviously know everything. You need to react. And I think this learning of being constantly on the reaction mode while being very calm.
Chorus, I was having a think about how we could make this sound more airy and as though you are backstage. The consensus I've reached, can we hum like we're smelling fresh bread? So it's your soft palate is up and it's very like bringing the sound in even though we are sending the sound out, but it's very, there's a lot of space in the hum. I think that changed the sound and I hope people agree.
I ask the chorus to every time do a little bit of glissando when they do. And that's why we need to just give them enough space every time in the upbeat so that they have space for this glissando. If it's possible to make it sound darker also in a way, the pizzicato, like everything's sounding behind a curtain of smoke. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm really looking forward to tonight.
Thank you very much. See you tonight.
I remember I said one sentence and everybody laughed during the rehearsal. I said, I'm here to provide service. But that is actually my strategy, my mindset, is to provide service I need to know what the singers are thinking and if they are comfortable. I want them to feel comfortable in a very comfortable way to sing their most beautiful voice. I am what music tells me to do. And when music tells me to shine, I think I will. But oftentimes, for me, I am actually a very shy person, I think. Let me tell you how I ended up being a conductor. Like many, the generation of my time, we started practicing piano when I was 4, I think. But I never was really into it. I don't like to practice. My parents will get very angry with me because I will come up different reasons to not to practice. But later on, I went to a choir, and that really changed my life. Suddenly, you are not practicing alone. You are practicing everything together with everybody. And I felt very happy, and I really felt the sincerity of the music. You know what I'm thinking right now? You see, seeing the Jing'an Temple in the background, and here you have the urban traffic, and tall buildings, skyscrapers. What I'm thinking is there's no more west or east, and everything is merged together, combined together. All the cultures are now into one universal entity, sort of. And for me, what is the connection between all this? For me, it's culture. For me, it's music. I think from now on, the young generations, we really have to think as one, and the language that we share is music. Through music, we can have everything all together. I would say for Chinese orchestras, it's actually quite a dream place for many conductors, because for me, despite I'm just a young conductor, I never sort of face the difficulty that you might have some senior musicians that disagree with you on public. If you are a senior conductor and your method is making sense, then people here will give you a lot of admiration and give you credit for that. What I could say from experience working with some of the European orchestras, the musicians, they are fantastic, and they have ideas, and they want to exchange ideas. They want to know your ideas, but they are not afraid to give their own thoughts. And for me, I always say, conducting orchestra is like riding a horse. And what I like is actually a wild horse. That is really something I enjoy, but I know that I still have to work a lot of practice, and I will get better day by day, I think.
Hello everyone, let's please start with Debussy. Well, now the very last round is of course the grand finale, and it's with the Rotterdam Philharmonic, and it's with them doing what they do best, which is big symphonic repertoire.
Always when we go down, we are fighting against all odds.
They're incredible. They know these pieces incredibly well. The energy that I started with Rachmaninoff, and the energy that you could just feel already from the very first note was fantastic.
Rum, bum, bim, bum. Before that, supercharge that silence.
Rachmaninoff, it's such a huge piece. As narrow and intense of a vibrato as possible. So in the moment I need to choose, I might have 100 things that I want to say, 100 details that I would like to hear, but I can only rehearse 3 or 4.
As the great Seiji Ozawa once said, you know the music, I know the music, see you tonight. Thank you very much.
These 2 weeks, like in any competition, are incredibly enriching because it demands of you a focus, a complete focus on doing your absolute best for 40 minutes or 1 hour or 20 minutes or whatever it is, the rehearsal time, on each one of the rounds. A positive way of looking at it is thinking, look, if I can be at my best for this 10 minutes, maybe I can be for 20 minutes, and maybe I can be for an hour, and maybe, hopefully, I can be for a whole life.
So this is the school I went to.
We would have the Lisbon Metropolitan Orchestra, the professional orchestra here, and then it was sort of like an academy. The musicians in the orchestra would teach the students, and then many years later, eventually, some of those students would become part of the orchestra. When I came to study here initially, I was studying piano. My very first years in the school were very, very scary because I started studying music very late. It was the last 3 years of school, normal school, and also music school, music lessons. And so during the breaks, the orchestra would be rehearsing, the professional orchestra, and also the student orchestra where the conducting lessons happened. So it was in that environment really of normal lessons, but then in the breaks, going to watch the rehearsals of the orchestra, and then becoming obsessed with this figure of the conductor that I really became in love with music. This is the best room because of the view. Everyone used to fight for this room. So the way we learned conducting here is quite crazy. Basically what would happen is the teacher we would be in a room like this, he would be sat in a table, and one student would go to the front and conduct no orchestra, no recording, complete silence, and he would imagine he was conducting an orchestra. A filmmaker reads a book and then creates a mental image of how that book should be in film form. And I think that's really what a conductor, and basically every musician does, is look at a score, and the better your sound image of how that score would be, the most detailed it is, the better equipped you are to go in front of an orchestra and share your view. One quote that was important to me that I discovered in a documentary by Simon Rattle about his years in Berlin, and how when he was leaving there, he would come home and his kids will call him dad, and that would put things into perspective, make him remember that all that crazy life, and the life of a conductor is quite crazy, that music is about life, not the other way around. That's what music is about.
It's all about just having fun, and having fun in a professional way in which we can all interact with each other, and we can all also, while we are playing, just really give our ideas and then really generate such an incredible result. For me, it's very interesting sometimes to really take a step back and to think about and realize that, well, I'm a conductor. I come from Costa Rica, and the way my journey in music began was not really a conductor's way. I started playing first the violin, then I changed to the flute, but then I was playing with my father and with my family at folk events. It's in Costa Rica, it's called the cimarrona, and this colorful warmth that really embraces all the players there. It's something that I always keep close to my heart, and it has taught me a lot about the beauty of music, about the love for music, and about the happiness that really comes with it. So the very first thing I do when I need to start conducting or learning a piece, well, I go and I get the score. I sit at the piano, I open the score, then I try to see what is going on. I try to play it a bit, and then always I give myself maybe one whole day to go through the whole piece. And then I would just... And here already, I have a lot of questions of what is going on. This is really what I do all the time. So I'm at the piano, stand up, look outside of the window, say hello to the birds, then think more, then go to the bed, then think more. At the end, it's all about thinking and about trying to figure out what we have here. For me, the interesting thing about the music piece, yeah, of course, instruments are nice and of course it sounds beautiful, but it's to really find out what did the composer create, because it's like a little universe. Oh. Now I have these very warm coats, which I never owned when I was back in Costa Rica. But one really important thing for me, it's always to remind myself somehow to really keep my heart always full with this joy, with this warmth, with this openness that we Costa Ricans have. Our main saying is pura vida, so always to bring this pura vida, this pure life, into the music that I make, into the relationships that I create with the orchestras. This is really, I think, my main goal as a conductor. Coming from such a small country, we are 5 million people. I just want this to help create energy in the country, and any kind of inspiration that I might create for all these young people in Costa Rica. We have a great music education system, but sometimes what we just need is this, we can do it, we can do it.
Now I'm sure the 6 conductors can't wait any longer, so please welcome them to the stage. In random order, Miguel Sepúlveda, Samuel Rodrigo Samano, Luis Castillo-Briceno, Yu Quanjin, Jakub Zibizell.
It's great to be part of a conducting competition whereby you get to see different strengths through different epochs of music, different challenges, the different stages of music history.
I'm so glad to see such an amazing generation of the young conductors. Each one of participants, of contestants, has a big future. That's absolutely for sure.
I was tremendously impressed by the amount of repertoire that every candidate had to prepare. I think it takes real commitment and dedication. And that is the life of a conductor. It's one of unending score study, score analysis, score imagining, visualization.
My colleagues and myself went back to the jury room tonight. You saw us leave early. And I believe, Rob, tonight is an historical precedent, because we simply couldn't give one first prize, because in addition to this remarkable group, we felt there were 2 people who had, throughout the weeks that they've been here, really done remarkably. And it was basically, there was a numeric difference that we couldn't use. I mean, it was that close. So I would like to announce, for the first time ever in your second competition, we have 2 I don't think this sets a precedent, but you know, what can we say? All six, no. Okay, we have two winners, ladies and gentlemen. Luis Castillo and Miguel Sepúlveda. Bravo!
I'm surprised.
Me too. Very surprised and very happy. But most of all, very happy that all these 6 conductors, we really did get along. And I am inspired by all of the other 5. And so I don't think that's at all normal in a competition for us to get,
to become so much friends with each other and really to share and then to root for each other.
Yeah.
And
I think that
has been the magnificent, I think, point of this competition.
It's not obvious.
No, it's not. And then very tired now, because they were 2 intense weeks, but very happy. And I'm very happy to share the prize with Miguel.
Me too, me too.
It was a very, very inspiring time, and I will never forget it.
Yeah, I hope that we stay in touch. You go as a stranger to an ensemble and you stay as a stranger and then you leave and then you go to another ensemble as a stranger. Community is an important aspect of a healthy, living arts world. So let's hang on to this connection, hopefully.
We developed friendships, and that, you know, is much, much longer and profound than just, you know, a competition. That's gonna reserve in our heart for the next decades.
We've become friends and we compare notes, and we're so different in personality and technique and everything. So we learn from each other as well. We learn from all the orchestras we work with.
The experience that we're gaining is enormous. This is something no one can ever buy. You know, this is something that you need to outlive. You need to have the moments of being afraid. Oh, I don't have time, or I should have done this. I should have talked about that. Should think of that maybe. And all of this I should have. This is exactly what we need. We need to put in our scores. Hey, remember, you talked about this, but this was no problem at the end. But this bit didn't work. You should focus on this bit when you go out with next time. And all of this creates our experience as conductors and as musicians.
We are all, I'm sure I can speak for all of us 6, we are all very grateful to have partaken in this incredible competition, to have had the chance of meet each other, and to then just be these 2 weeks that, even though tiring, I'm sure, because so much concentration and so many concerts, they have been an incredible opportunity for all of us as young conductors to share and to make this beautiful music that we love, that we cherish.